So my work is called Future Past, and it's basically an exaggerated, oversized oil drill. And there's two of them behind me. So these drills have been fascinating me for a while because of, firstly, their phantasmagorical shapes, and that they really evoke, I think, other impressions about our life at the moment. In the present, we are really consuming so much fossil fuels all over the world. And I'm from Kuwait originally, and Kuwait is a petroleum producing country, and I've always seen these drills as somehow a representation of myself and my generation. I think this location of being a disused coal factory was very meaningful for me to show my work in, because if you didn't work in it or you weren't associated with it, its meaning is somehow lost, and it becomes this esoteric location. And I was thinking this is the same process will happen eventually with the oil industries, that the places where they dig and they find oil and all the machines that they use, similarly to these drills, will not be understood in that way in the future. So I was thinking that it's such an interesting kind of comparison of these industries, because the same process will occur again. Generally, when I visited the Ruhr area, I was very struck by the ruins that the coal industry left behind, because the coal industry was so embedded into daily life and into the culture, and also into kind of power dynamics, how much wealth it generated and how much power also it gave to this area. And I was very much reflecting on my own country, Kuwait, and how in the near future these ruins probably of the petroleum industry will be all around, and people will visit them and maybe not understand what these rooms are for, or what these things and these machines were used for. So I really kind of was brought back to my place of origin, and I really started to think about these relationships, about producing energy from fossil fuels and what kind of future that has or doesn't have. So I just think, there is no future for fossil fuels. I think even in all my work, no matter how kind of slightly aesthetic or eye-catching or kind of fun it looks from the outside, but in its deeper meaning, I always refer to kind of very tragic subjects. So in this work, Future Past, I also see it as a very tragic subject, because these institutions and these industries of power and wealth, such as the coal industry or the petroleum industry, they quickly lose that power. And there is something to be said about the destruction of wealth and power. It has to happen. It's a necessary process. It's unsustainable. But at the same time, it makes people sad, and they lose their kind of way of life and their affluence and their kind of way of being in the world. So for me, as a kind of post-oil baby, these drills, I think, are a representation of who I am, but they are also kind of a gravestone of my generation. I think 100 years from now, people won't know what these things are, and it will just be this artifact from a long-lost people that, had some wealth and power at some point in time. So I just feel like it's also a kind of a cemetery. It's a grave, the same way as this coal factory is a kind of grave of the coal industry.